So today we're going to be talking about what your approach is for lead nurturing. It's a very important question because not everybody that actually interacts with your lead forms or actually jumps on your website or even calls you sometimes, they might not be ready to purchase your product or service just yet. So what are you doing to nurture those leads?
So lead nurturing is very important for lead generation companies, but also for customers that are taking the leads on as well for nurturing them. So rolling back a little bit from a lead generation point of view of lead nurturing, some great ways of doing it would be if someone's been onto your website and then they don't fill in the form, and then you can then warm them up on Facebook ads with retargeting and stuff like that. You're nurturing those to come back to fill in the form and obviously inquire and to get that initial lead. Another one could be starting off with regards to informational articles. And what you're doing is you're nurturing them from an informational based term and they're understanding a little bit more, and they might be clicking on internal links until it starts to become from an informational based term into a commercial based term. And then as you've nurtured them along the way, they're much further down the buying cycle. So that doesn't become like just a cold web lead, they're a hot lead now. Yeah. So that from a lead generation point of view is where lead nurturing is so important. And it's instead of just chasing quantity of leads, you also want to be looking at the quality of leads. But then obviously when customers have got the inquiry, then they need to be trying to nurture them with, could be email funnels or sales funnels. So do you want to expand on that a little bit when someone's got the lead, about lead nurturing them?
So just before we go on to that, a couple actionable tips. If you've got a website, you can definitely add like a newsletter. Like for example, I've got a newsletter on my website where I'm sending out SEO tips, right? So if anybody subscribes to that, they get SEO tips, they get to know me a little bit more, and then maybe in 6 months' time, they might hire me for consultancy. So that's one strategy you can go down. Another strategy you can go down is having like a well-optimized thank you page. So again, I'll use my example. When somebody submits a lead form on my website, they get sent to a thank you page, and that thank you page then also has like 4 or 5 case studies. So then they really want to work with me. And then going back to what you were saying before, once you actually have got that lead, you can obviously send them stuff like a thank you message, thank you for inquiring, like basically a follow-up email, we'll be back in touch in 24 hours or 48 hours, just so that people are actually updated. Because a lot of people, they want, if they filled out a quote form, for example, they might want a quote in the next 12 minutes, and that might not be possible. But yeah. Although if you're actually prompting them saying like, hey, we're going to be in touch, don't worry, we're a little bit busy, we'll be back in 24 hours, that's fine. A few other things that you can obviously do as well is once you have, like, let's say, for example, you're a conservatory business, if you send out a quote, some people, they just miss their email, so you can just phone them as well, saying like, hey, Steve, did you receive my quote? Oh, sorry, it went into your spam box, let me try and resend it. Just having multiple touch points as much as you possibly can. I feel like a lot of people, they thrive off of getting more leads every single month, but if they were to increase their actual funnels by, let's say, 5%, and across the year, that's going to account to a lot more leads and a lot more converted leads as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you touched on their touch points, and I think that's what a lot of it comes down to. In traditional marketing, they used to always say you need to be seen 5 times before someone's willing to inquire with that brand or with that theatre show or whatever it is. That's both online, trying to nurture them from a lead generation standpoint, but then once you've got the inquiry, like you said, even sometimes once they've sent, let's say, a quote through, following that through with other previous jobs, like you said, case studies or testimonials or what they have for similar jobs of what they've done. Yeah. Or it could even just be chasing it up 2 weeks after you sent the quote with just a quick phone call from time to time. Some people don't like phone calls. Some people prefer WhatsApp messages or email or whatever the preferred method of communication is. But sometimes chasing it up 2 weeks later, hiya Kaz, are you all right? Did you get the quote? Is everything all right with the quote? Don't try and hard sell. It's just more checking, did you get the quote? Is everything okay with it? Do you want us to change anything? Do you want any more information about what we've allowed for, what we've not allowed for? If you want us to compare like prices against a competitor that you might have, we can show you why there might be a price difference, why we might be cheaper, or why we might be more expensive, because we might not be comparing apples with apples. So you need to make certain that you're looking at both quotes there.
You're almost asking for feedback as opposed to hard selling.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
if you sent out a quote template and they've not got back to you, there's probably a reason why. Maybe you're a little bit more expensive because you're further away from the address, let's say, or like what you mentioned, there might be different materials. The competitors using cheaper materials, you're using more expensive. And then once they tell you like, oh, I've decided to go with XYZ company, you can say, oh, well, actually, do you know that, let's say they're using the cheaper product, we're using the more expensive glue, for example. And then you can then try to win them over and actually convert that lead quote that was a little bit more on the dead side into an actual paying customer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you are a business owner that's watching this, if you're looking to hire a lead generation company, definitely start asking the question of what they're doing to nurture the leads. Is it just literally a cold web form? Or have they got blogs? Are they trying to educate them? Are they trying to move down the funnel from informational terms down to commercial terms? Over at flatrank.com, fill in the form there and inquire for our lead generation service. We do a lot of lead nurturing, but we are on a commission based only. So we will be asking you what you're doing to nurture the leads once you've got them, because we need to make certain that you're good at actually converting the leads as well. So lead nurturing is both really important from you as being the customer taking the leads, and from the lead generation company to make certain they're generating the right type and quality of lead. So I hope you liked the video about nurturing of leads and lead nurturing. And if you've got any more questions, leave a comment in the comment section.